Hi there. In this video I'm going to give a very brief introduction to using Relayer for the Exquis keyboard. So basically Relayer is an application which runs on macOS or Windows, and it allows you to play a very wide variety of microtonal tunings, and it also recolors the keyboard of the Exquis to match that tuning, to identify where useful scales are within that tuning. The protocol that it uses to communicate with soft synths or DAWs is MIDI MPE, which is now very widely supported. So the first thing to do is to click on the Exquis button at the top of the interface. Okay, and you can see that the layout has already changed, the colors of the keys, and you can choose any of a very large number of presets. Okay, so I'm just going to go to this preset here, and what we've got at the moment is what's called a Wicki layout, which is a very nice compact layout for the pentatonic and diatonic scale. And the diatonic. So something to note about this particular tuning that I just played is that it's not actually 12-tone equal temperament, it's a mean tone tuning. So in a mean tone tuning, you specify the size of your octave, which here is 1200 cents, that's a perfect octave. And you also specify the size of another interval, which is a generating interval. In this case, you can see that it's 696.578. Okay, so that's slightly narrower than the standard perfect fifth that you get in 12-tone equal temperament, which is 700 cents. And by being slightly narrower, it means that the resulting tuning actually results in better tuned major and minor thirds and major and minor sixths. So it presents a kind of really nice compromise between the perfect fifths and the major and minor thirds and major and minor sixths. All of them are very well tuned. Additional to that, you can actually flexibly and dynamically change the tuning. So if I just click in this box and drag up, you can see that the tuning smoothly changes. You'll also see that this slider to the right changes as well. So this is just another way of changing the size of the generating interval here. But what's nice about the slider is that it shows all of the equal temperaments that you pass through as you change the size of the generating interval, and you can click on any of these numbers to snap the tuning to that. So if I want to have exactly 19-tone equal temperament, I click here. So that's 12-tone equal temperament, but I can push it much further. I can go okay, so I've gone all the way to 5-tone equal temperament. And I can also drag it down. And that's 7-tone equal temperament. So the boundary tunings on this slider are also adaptable. So at the moment I've got it set to 4/7 of the size of the period, which is about 685 cents, and 3/5, which is about 720 cents. So what that means is that as I change the size of this period, the actual kind of size of the generator range also changes with it. But I can also specify hard numbers as well. So for example, I could choose 800 to be our maximum tuning, and I could choose 600 to be our minimum tuning. We can see now that because we've got a much wider range of tunings than we had before, which was 685 to 720, we've now got lots and lots of equal temperaments in there, which are kind of hard to make out. So this little box here sets the maximum size equal temperament, which is actually shown on the left. So I'm just going to reduce that so we create a little bit more space. Okay. So we can see that we pass through, at the bottom of this, two-tone equal temperament, pass through 9, 7, 12 and 5, that was our previous minimum and maximum, and we end up at 3. So let's just kind of confirm that this is actually true. So we should now be in two-tone equal temperament. Okay, so we're getting lots of repeated notes because there are only 2 different pitches per octave. Let's go to 9-tone equal temperament. Okay, so this very much approximates some tunings which are often used in Indonesian music, and it's a very interesting scale because it's a bit like the diatonic scale in the sense that it's got 5 intervals of one size and 2 intervals of another size, but actually they're kind of flipped around because now we've got 5 small intervals and 2 large intervals. As we drag the slider up, or now click on the 7 here, we're back to that 7-tone equal temperament tuning that I showed earlier. And we pass through 12. Go up to that lovely 5-tone equal temperament tune. And what's wonderful is that we're essentially kind of using the same sort of set of finger movements and the same layout to play a scale across all of these different equal temperaments, all of these different tunings. Let's go further up. Let's go to 11-tone equal temperament. We can see now that that sort of pattern has broken down, and that's because for any given type of layout that you use, there's always going to be a restricted range of tunings over which it operates well. So ideally, if we want to be working with this specific tuning where we've got an octave as the period and a generator of 763.6363, etc., we want to choose a different layout. Now, a quick way to kind of estimate what would be a good layout is to look at the size of this generator. You can see it's about 764, and then we click here, and these are all the different layouts that we can choose, and we want to choose a layout ideally with smaller numbers, i.e. that's higher up this list, where one of the numbers on the right is similar to the size of the generator. And here we've got a clear kind of candidate here, which is this one. So I'm going to click on this one. So I've changed the layout, but now I need to send that changed layout to the Exquis. So I click on that button there. And we can see now we've got a different alignment of keys. So let's just see if this works. Okay, so something's a bit odd. It's like the pitches are going in the wrong direction. Okay, that often happens. Very easy to fix. So we now just click on the flip button, okay, and then send to the Exquis. And we can see we've kind of flipped the layout. And now, let's see what happens. Okay, so we can see that we've got this lovely kind of pattern. So this particular layout now will work across a different range of tunings. So there are several presets in Relayer. So these are different tunings and different layouts. So sometimes for a given tuning there may be more than one layout. Depending on your preference, you can choose the ones that you like the most. And of course you can save all of these presets. All of these presets towards the top, I think most of them are these kind of tunings where you're in between equal temperaments, so as to actually optimize the tuning. Though you can click on the closest equal temperament, which is low enough that you like. And then down the bottom we have a variety of equal temperaments. So we had 5-tone, 7-tone, 12-tone, 15 and so forth, and going up all the way to 53, which is rather a lovely tuning for music if you want to approach just intonation. Now, one thing about the Exquis is it's a very expressive instrument. You've got all those degrees of freedom. When you want to choose which of those degrees of freedom, the kind of left, right, up, down, or pressure affect the pitch, you can use these controls. So if I don't want to bend the pitch with the keys at all, I just make sure they're all turned off. Okay, so now nothing happens. If I've got the PB, the pitch bend button down, then you'll see that okay, so it's that because I've rotated the keyboard here, because that suits this particular layout. You've got that vertical movement changes the pitch. But if I wanted it to be a horizontal movement, then I change to the other axis, which is CC74, and now it's left-right movement. And I can also say so the pressure affects pitch too. For the most part, you're probably going to be wanting to use these two. There's another thing you can do, which is if you want to, you can force it so that the pitch bend is always in an upwards direction. So it's like a guitar string, for example. And you can also control the amount that the pitch bends by to any fractional degree you want. And you can also control to some extent the sort of pitch taper that is followed by that movement. So if I set this to a higher value, then small movements will move the pitch less. So it's like the pitch bend sort of comes in later, you have to move more. That can be quite useful if you don't want to inadvertently bend the pitch by just a slight movement of the finger. Okay, so next up I'm going to show you a performance of a rather lovely tuning called Porcupine. We can see here that it's quite close to 22-tone equal temperament, and it's got a very kind of microtonal flavour to it. Anyway, I hope you enjoy.